Hi, I'm Heather from HEAathon Booktubes, and this is my TBR for the HEAathon. I will have the creators listed below. I've really been enjoying watching everybody's TBRs for this, and after listening to the prompts a few different times, thought, why not? Surely I can stick with the TBR for a week. Because I usually cannot stick to a TBR because I'm such a mood reader and I just swap books in and out constantly, I did pick all books except for the Trope you don't typically read. All the rest of the books were already checked out on Kindle Unlimited or from my library, so they were already on my imminent TBR, if you will. The first prompt is a new to you author. I have several on the list, but the one I picked for this is The Lady and the Orc by Finley Fenn. Lady Nor has a cruel husband and their country or peoples are at war, and she gets kidnapped by an orc, the infamous Grimmar, as a trap for Lord Nor in a bid to end the war. It's described as dark, steamy, full-length, standalone fantasy romance with the happily ever after. So I'm curious to see if it's trash, an idea enough it, or if it's a new gem. Next is Taboo or Forbidden Romance. I read an awful lot of this. This one is His by Aubrey Dark. So the blurb for this, the synopsis, is so great. The idea is she's playing Nancy Drew and she finds a serial killer. But Nancy Drew never ended up handcuffed in the basement, teased to the edge of insanity, begging to be let go and then begging to be his. So I heard a rave review about this on Instagram and I'm gonna give it a shot. It sounds right up my alley. Next is a curvy heroine, What If by Dani Wyatt. Sounds so good. So she's on blind date number 28 when a bar fight breaks out because she throws the first punch and this wall of muscle scoops her up and takes over her fight. Described as insta-love and alpha hero. Next is a book released in 2020. Again, I have several on my TBR that would fit this prompt, but for this one I picked Beautifully Cruel by J.T. Gessinger. Alpha saves her from an attack in a dark alley. She's never felt as safe as she does in his arms, but it comes with a price. That's all I know. I don't know what to tell you. It sounded interesting to me. Next is a book set in a different country from where you live. For this, I picked Ringmaster by Brianna Hale. She writes some excellent smut. I often don't care so much about the plot part of her book, which kind of seems terrible, but she writes some excellent smut. This is a novella about a circus and they're traveling in England. The Ringmaster is an age gap, but she's running away from home, he rescues her, and it's their romance. Next is a book with a black cover, and for this one, I picked A Whisper in the Dark by Jessi, Elliott, and KJ Sutton. I just read Fortuna Sworn by KJ Sutton. This one is vampire, and it is serial, so there are four or five maybe, novellas that the story is going to be told through, so I think it ends on a cliffhanger. I know the first couple at least are out. It's a city ruled by vampires, a disgraced princess is vampire royalty. All she has to do is go through the formality of the ceremony of awakening, but everything changes and she's cast out. Now she has to be with the rebels and the humans, and she has to try and survive and make them like her when they have every reason to hate her. Next is a trope you don't typically read, and this was so hard for me because I'm a mood reader and I just can't convince myself to read something that doesn't sound good to me, which would be any trope that is my usual. So for this one I decided to go with The Deep End, which is number 1 in the Hunting series by Kristen Ashley. Kristen Ashley is my favorite author, and the whole reason why I haven't been interested in this series is because it's about alpha males who become submissives at a sex club, and I'm not into guy submissives, so I haven't been interested. However, I've heard quite a few good things about it, and I just figured if I'm gonna go for a trope that I'm not going to like, I'm gonna go for an author that I know that I like. Next is a small town romance, and for this I picked Be My Brayshaw, which is number 4 in Brayshaw High. It comes out June 3rd, it is on Kindle Unlimited. You do need to have read the previous trilogy. In Boys of Brayshaw High, there's a girl named Raven, and there's 3 guys who rule the school. She's new, she takes them on. It's a bully romance. This is Captain's book, so he's one of the 3 guys, and we're going to get his romance with a girl who is mentioned in the previous books also. I'm super excited for it. It's one of my most anticipated releases because I read the original trilogy in 2 days back in, I think, October. I stumbled on it like the week that the 3rd one had been released, and I just flew through it so fast. It's super dramatic, over the top. It has reverse harem tendencies. Reverse harem can technically not be all romantic relationships. It's kind of one girl surrounded by 3 or more guys, regardless of whether it's platonic or not. This one, there is one menage scene between all 4 characters, but the rest is really just her romance with one of the guys. And then this is one of the other guys, and I'm just super excited about it. Last is Name in the Title, and for this I picked Mark by Jessica Gadziala. Is the 3rd book in the Mallick brothers series. I think Mark is the lady killer in the group. I can't remember. They're all a little bit lady killers because they're crazy good looking. I'm excited to read his book. I love Jessica Gadziala. Their family is loan sharks in the town of Navasink Bank, where most of her series interconnect, following the different kind of crime and vigilante organizations in that town. And it's crazy and it's wild, but it's so well done. This has been on my TBR for a while, and I'm excited to read it. I'm excited to participate in the readathon. I'm excited to find more people with similar romance reading tastes to me, and I hope that you all have a great reading week, and I would love to hear if you try any of these books, or if you read a book for one of the tropes that you ended up absolutely loving. I would love to hear your recommendations. Thank you. Bye.